I think they need to put it in. We've got one.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for watching. I'm Ed.
And I'm Kat.
And we are the
Ruse
Ruse React. Now, we've got another comedy reaction for you today. And as you can tell by the thumbnail, we've got some Bill Burr for you. So, based on the poll that I put up, Bill was obviously one of the favourites to keep doing more reactions. So that's what we're going to do, because what you want, we're going to give. But before we get to the reaction, we just wanted to say
a big thank you for everyone who has subscribed to our channel and those who have suggested and commented and liked. Thanks so much. We really appreciate it.
all right, well, we're going to get into this, but the title of this reaction is...
How you know the N-word is coming.
What's the N-word?
Oh, you ain't gonna trick me.
Almost got her. All right, let's do it.
It's nice to be back here down in the South, man. I had a real weird experience last time I came down here. I was in Nashville, right? Sort of an awkward social situation, right? I'm sitting at this bar. There's this white dude sitting like 2 stools away. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. And that Terrell Owens story was in like sports news. So I try to make conversation. I'm like, man, look at this guy. This guy just signed a $40 million contract. He's already bitching, man. How much money do you need to make? And the dude looks at me. He's like, you know what I say? And then he looked over his shoulder, which I now know is the telltale sign that the N-word is coming, and it's coming hard. Oh yeah, it's not going to be pronounced with the A, it's going to be with the R, and he hit the R, he like stuck the landing. There was like a dismount, Klan members high-fiving in the background, like doing the wave. Just out of nowhere. So now, immediately, I'm looking over my shoulder like, dude, what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? I'm waiting for like this hail of black fists to come raining down on top of me. I hate when people do stuff like that. That dude made me part of like a potential ass-kicking that I had nothing to do with. You don't do shit like that. He just had that word, hot potato, just threw it in my lap. Trying to pass it down to the next white dude. I hate when people do that, man. You know, it's like, dude, feel me out first. Ask some questions. Do you like to fish? Have you ever fucked your sister, right? I start rattling off answers, then you go old school. You give me a pamphlet, you tell me about your militia. Don't just dive into it. That dude was one of the angriest people I ever met. I should have known that word was coming, because he was just watching Terrell, right? Anytime I would bring up, look at man, that guy's talking trash, he would just like flip out. He won't shut up! You know, those people get like so mad they're not even looking at you. Their eyes are up. You just shut up and play the game! You know what's funny? I don't even like Terrell, but now I love the guy. Because every time I see him talking trash, I know this idiot in Nashville is just losing his mind, like kicking over his kitchen TV. Shut the fuck up! I like violence, man. I am. Not like when it happens to me or if I see it live. I like watching it on TV, you know? Watching people, you know, get attacked by animals. Just get blasted in the face or something, you know? Like, I'm a huge sports fan. You know my favorite, like, moment of, like, the last year was in sports? That Detroit Piston, Indiana Pacer bench clearing brawl. Wasn't that great? That was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. I was so confused when I watched ESPN that day. They were like, that was absolutely disgraceful. Basketball fans, they just must be... I'm sitting there looking like, I'm a basketball fan. I loved it. I thoroughly enjoyed watching out-of-shape civilians get the shit kicked out of them by professional athletes. It was fascinating. And I think as sports fans, we kind of had it coming, right? Because how many times you gone to a game, right? You got a little too drunk, you started screaming at some dude on the field who could clearly kick the shit out of you, right? If you saw him in the parking lot, you'd be like, hey, can you sign my stamp collection? I think you're awesome. You get in the game, you're all drunk, you're like, you suck, buddy! You're a piece of shit! And they're always calling him up, come on up here! No, come on up here! Well, they came up there. They did, and they kicked the shit out of everybody. It was great. It was like a cartoon. You're like beating up whole rows of people at once, like... I loved every second. I love how Ron Artest punched the wrong guy. Wasn't that great? He taught that dude a valuable lesson in life. when shit goes down, you don't just stand there like you're watching a movie like, wow, it's coming right at me. Must be in 3D or something. That was a 5'6", 110-pound white dude, had an angry 6'10" black dude running right at him. That had to have been in his top 3 nightmares all time. Right behind getting his dick cut off and being lit on fire. And he just stood there. He's like trying to explain himself. Well, I still have the liquid in my cup, so there's no way I could have. He's an idiot.
Oh, short and sweet. I love it.
Well, that's fine. Well, it was the first part anyway, right?
What the N-word? Well, yeah, I guess I led into that. Yeah, but that's...
no.
Let's break that down. So, obviously, that word doesn't get used too much in Australia.
No,
too much.
not
but
in Australia.
The idea is there of like...
We understand.
I guess what the equivalent might be is people get super racist about Asian people in Australia. And... people just like lean into it. I mean, with anything, if you're the one going to be talking that kind of way, you'd probably want to feel it out. But I guess there's just like an arrogance you don't need to even... Yeah. It's like, well...
But there's no name like that we call Asians. We just would say...
Oh, you mean like a derogatory...
Yeah, a derogatory... Like the N-word. Or discriminatory.
Like a racial slander? Yeah, that word.
Whatever that...
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't even say the colour of the skin anymore. I just feel like, or name them. It's difficult.
Yeah,
it's really
and that's
difficult.
why I'm just like, just gonna call you people.
Just people. It's just everybody's a person.
Which is the way it should be.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're stripping it back, and you're like, well, everybody is different, and that's okay. Like I'm white, you're black.
Yeah, I think you lose a lot of beauty from the cultures when you want to just. No, everyone's the same. It's like, well, no, everyone's different in the sense of where they come from and their culture, and it's great. And let's learn about it as opposed to just wanting to homogenize everything. But,
yeah. Well, I did say the N-word.
What?
Oh my God!
It was a song. It was a song. Okay, and we had your friend.
We had a friend who happened to be of that persuasion.
Yeah, in the back, and I was singing. Now you tell me. You can write in the comments. I'm not a bad person, and I'm not racist or anything like that. But I did. I think I was singing it, and the word was in the song. Now, I guess I didn't even think anything of it because if you and I were driving, I would have just sung the song. Yeah. You know.
But it's not a problem because he didn't take offense because he was singing the song.
Well, I was worried.
You were worried
that I might have.
But he. So here's the thing.
Was he okay?
Well, he was fine because he knew who you were.
Yeah, all right.
He knew.
I wasn't saying he was. I was just singing the song. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It doesn't matter because this is the problem.
I just want to know, like,
is if that was filmed, like if that was happening, like we did a reaction to a song and you did that, there'd be people out there who would take offense. But when you're in that context, the guy in the car and you were like, "Oh my God, sorry," and he's like, "Whatever."
Yeah.
So
there's got to be something.
Yeah, but as a rule.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that when there's like people who will just blatantly launch into that, that's very apt. That's funny. And then in regards to the thing he's talking about afterwards, I think I know what he's talking about, and I think it's actually been requested that we watch it. Is something called Malice in the Palace.
Oh.
So it was the Palace that's what the stadium of a particular team was called. The players were getting thrown. I think they had drinks and stuff thrown on them, and they just went. One player went after one guy who did it, but then other people started hitting the player, and then the other players went up, and it was that thing with it's a bad matchup. Sports fans drunk and just yelling stuff out. Oh, and the bravado of people who were just grubs, regular blokes that they're just and. Not even when they're having a go at the players, but when they think they have a better strategic plan of how a game should be played, while they're up there with their beer and their meat pie or their hot dog and
everything was
it's not
good
how you
up
do
there.
it. It's like, mate, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. The point for me for sport is go with friends, and it's about the banter and having the good time, and that's on. When it starts being like, apart from money being involved, like betting, if you're like so into it and it's like everything to you. It's like, what's that say about your life? But that was great. Bill is great. He is so worth watching. It's just great. But that is Bill Burr, How You Know the N-Word is Coming. And that was great. So we appreciate that suggestion.
Yes.
I'm Ed.
And I'm Kat.
And we are The Riz React. Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.
Bye.